Hey guys, I am back again today to talk some movies once more. Today we are going to talk about the Weapons movie. Saw that this past weekend. This is a movie I was really looking forward to. I love horror movies. This is probably my favorite genre, right? So 1A is probably comic book movies, and then 1B is going to be horror movies. I love horror movies. So this one was one that I was looking forward to for a good amount of time here. The word of mouth on this was good. Everybody who saw it said good things about it. So I was really excited going into this one. I thought it was going to be very entertaining. One thing I will say is that it's horror movies just don't hit like they used to. They're not as scary. There's the jump scares. They don't do as much. The writing seems to be not quite as good, but I'm not sure if it's because of a dip in writing or because we've seen everything already. It's kind of hard to come up with a new horror concept, but let's take a look at some things here. So one thing I want to start with is a success that this movie had before it even started. Apparently, they had to recast almost every part in this movie because the SAG strike. So let me throw this up here. We'll take a look. All right, so make it a little smaller here. You can see Weapons had to recast almost every principal character. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that the one person I'm sick of seeing is Pedro Pascal. So it sounds like he was going to be the role that Josh Brolin ended up playing. So that right out of the gate, by switching those two up, you take Mr. Fantastic out, put Thanos in. That's a victory. Josh Brolin is an incredible actor. I like all his stuff, dating back to Goonies as Brother Brand. So that was a victory right out of the gate here. It looks like Brian Tyree Henry. He's good. I like him in what was he in Atlanta? Didn't like him in Eternals for Marvel. He's good though. You give him something good to work with, he's going to do a good job. So otherwise, I think the entire cast was probably an improvement. Julia Garner, she did a good job in this. She's a good little actress. I'm a big fan of hers. I was critical of her as the Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four, but that wasn't her fault. She even said she got paid to do a job and she came out and did it to the best of her ability. So that wasn't her fault. So we're going to let her slide on that. In this movie, she actually did a really great job. Let's move on to our next window here. So Weapons, they won the weekend. They put in 42 million over the 3-day weekend there. I believe this movie was made for about 38 million. And the way that works, my understanding is that about half of the budget will be used for marketing. So 38 million went into production, then about half of that would go into what they used to market the movie. So they're in one weekend they took a big chunk of that out. So they're gonna be profitable. This movie's gonna do fine. You can look down there, you see it beat Freakier Friday, which I'm surprised they even made that. I don't know who was asking for another one of those, but they made it. It did okay, I guess. Fantastic Four put in over 15 million this past weekend, weekend 3, but they had a 60% drop, which is huge. And you can see here it says, meanwhile, Fantastic Four First Steps is taken number 3 with a 60% drop. That is better than its sophomore weekend. So that's referencing the 80% drop for the second weekend, which is massive. That's Kevin Feige, the chief of Marvel Studios, already came out and said that movie is a flop. So they're going to lose money there, and they've done more damage to that brand going into Doomsday, which isn't. That's not a good sign, considering they're giving Robert Downey Jr. a ton of money to come back, and they're going to do another Avengers level movie. So you're going to have to pay a bunch of other actors. I don't see the future being very bright for Marvel after this. So Bad Guys 2, I heard was fun. I'll have to check that out at some point. The Naked Gun, everybody said it was fun. Strange movie that nobody was asking for. I didn't think anybody would want another one of those. Liam Neeson seemed like a strange choice for it. Even weirder, him and Pamela Anderson are apparently dating now. Okay, good for them, I guess. But yeah, that I guess that one's going to make a little money. Also, it's small budget, so there's value there, I guess. So what we'll do here is we're going to jump in and just like we did with F1, we're going to throw the trailer on. We're going to talk about this as we run through it. Gives me some reference points here as we take a look and talk about what we saw. So the movie is, I'm sure you know by now, middle of the night, 2:17 a.m. one day, all the kids from one class, they get up and leave except one of them. So Everybody believes Julia Garner, who is the teacher of that class, has something to do with it. As we dig through that story, the way they lay it out is you get the story, it moves along, it tells it from one person's point of view, and then it kind of hands off to another person who is an intricate part, and it shows the story from their point of view, and it kind of builds from there. You get a little more every time and see how these multiple people are kind of tied into this story. So the first person, Julia Garner, it kind of tells the story from her point of view. They are at a school meeting after this has happened. The school's been closed for a month. Everybody's trying to figure out kind of what happened and how to move forward. These kids have not come back. People want answers. So they try and get her out on leave. And her goal is to try and talk to the remaining student that didn't disappear. She apparently cares about, of course, she cares about these kids as well. And she wants to know what happened, but she also wants to kind of clear her name because she knows that she is the center of attention here and where everybody is looking. So let's start this trailer.
This is a true story that happened in my town.
This, narrated from a
So
student
this
that they don't
one
point
Wednesday,
out. So this student's kind of telling you what's happening, but you don't know who this is. It's just a random student in the school. So
it's like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids.
And there's Julia Garner. There is the teacher of that class. And you can see she walks in and walks into something very concerning.
But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before at...
There you go, 2:17 a.m. All these kids get up and they just leave home. And they run out of their houses in a very terrifying way, airplane style. Arms out, kind of
2:17 in the morning,
running
every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
So that is a mistell by that student. They do eventually come back, and it's pretty shocking the way that happens. So we'll talk about that a little more after.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only her?
Okay, so there's Josh Brolin, who replaced my favorite, Pedro Pascal, and did me a huge favor.
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional.
There is Wong from the Marvel universe. He is the Sorcerer Supreme. It seems like they raided the Marvel actors chest here, and they brought Thanos in, they brought Silver Surfer in, they brought Wong in, which was kind of funny for a Marvel fan.
Parents here, I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
So this here is a dream sequence. So you see a couple people have these. You see her have this one here. She's walking through the classroom. She sees all the students with their heads down. You'll see at the end the student who remained, who did continue showing up. He ends up popping up with an alarming face. Josh Brolin also has a dream sequence. He is the parent of one of the students that disappeared. So his dream sequence leads him to start looking into something that the police aren't. So he ends up having a camera on his front door, which is triggered when his son runs out, arms extended airplane style, to run wherever all these kids are going. And he comes up with a plan that the police haven't thought of, which is to see who else has cameras and see the direction that these kids run off to. And he starts mapping it. And the movie is very good at stuff like this. It doesn't. There's a couple jump scares. They kind of get you. They kind of don't. But stuff like this is shocking to see these terrifying faces that just kind of pop up when you don't expect them. They're very subtle, but they're very disturbing. There you go. That's Brolin. So you see a hand pull a name tag off of a little cubby there. So what we find out later is that there is some witchcraft afoot in this little town here. So the child who who did not disappear. His family has an aunt come to town who they are not very familiar with, and she is sick. She is staying with them because she is not able to take care of herself anymore. So she's going to stay with the family. And we find out that she is a witch, and her goal is to feed off of her sister, who is the kid's aunt, and then her husband, to try and fuel herself to get better. She makes a comment at one point to about the parents being sick with consumption, which is an old illness reference. So you can tell that she's very old, much older than probably she should be alive, than being alive still. And she's probably been feeding on people using this witchcraft that she's shown using in the city here, or this town here. So she eventually gets the parents into a like zombie state while she feeds off of them, and she realizes that she is not recovering. So she tells the young man, "All right, you're going to help me get more fuel here, and you're going to do it by bringing me an item from all of the kids in your class." So you can see the young man, he is trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. He goes to class and he's looking at all the little things that his friends have, and trying to figure out what he can take from them to bring home to her. And he finds out the quickest thing is going to be not something that they carry with them, but just like a name tag on a cubby they use, because that is still their item. So he takes it. He brings those home to his aunt, and she is able to use these little small plants that she wraps these things around, tears stuff up, and starts doing this spell. And she is able to use her bell and make all of these kids leave home.
Matthew, where are you?
There you go. You see them running out there. You can see that little line there that somebody was stepping over. That is a salt line. If you know of anything witchcraft related, that the salt lines are always something that kind of pops up frequently. So that is definitely witchy. That is a witchy thing. So
Where did you go?
So one of the other people that tells the story from their point of view is a police officer in town. So he's got a little relationship with the teacher, a side relationship, as we figure out, which he gets in trouble for. So you got to be careful with that. He gets caught, but his relevance to this is that he was seeing the teacher kind of at some point, and they are talking about the case, and she's kind of ridiculing him about why the police aren't getting stuff done. And he goes off on a little side story where it kind of shows his day. And he interacts with a homeless man who he catches him breaking into some building, and they have a scuffle. And during this process, he reaches in this man's pocket and gets poked with a syringe. So he reacts and hits this man and knocks him out, realizing that he could get in trouble for this because it's right in front of his car camera. He tells the guy, "Hey, get the hell out of town. You're going to leave. We're not going to do anything about this. If you show up though, if I see you around, I'm going to take this a little further." So, and this is out of self-preservation because he hit this man. Obviously, as a police officer, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to, but sometimes it happens. And so this guy leaves, whatnot. This guy goes through his day, and then he ends up meeting the teacher. And then that's where the stories kind of overlap. It hands it back, and you see the story kind of pick up from where her story left off the day before, when they had met to discuss some things, and they end up spending some time together. But the next day, the man runs into the homeless man again. He is coming to the police station, and he thinks that this guy is coming to rat him out for hitting him. What he doesn't know, though, is that homeless man actually tried to rob a house, and he saw where these kids were staying. So they were in the basement, and they were zombies, just like the kids' parents were. They couldn't move. They weren't doing anything. So he saw, when he was at a pawn shop trying to make some money for drugs, he saw that there's a reward for these kids, and he wanted to collect on that. So there was a misunderstanding. The cop thought he was there to tell on him, but he was there to try and get that reward for the kids. The cop ends up catching up to him, and he says, "Hey, I know where these kids are. I'll take you there." So they go to the house. The officer goes inside. He goes up, knocks on the door, and he goes in. He disappears for a while. So then hours have passed. I mean, it's daytime when they go to the house, and then it's dark when he comes out, and he violently pulls that homeless man into the house. So, and you can see he's not right. And judging by the time he's been in there, you can assume that that witch has gotten a hold of him and put some sort of spell on him to control him, like she's done the others. So he brings him inside, and then we get the story from the principal of the school. So his part takes over, where Julia Garner, who goes to the house at one point, wants a child services visit at the house, and he reluctantly agrees to see if he can facilitate that. So he calls the house to have the parents come in, and the aunt is the one who comes in to visit. So she comes to the school, and he's very adamant that, hey, I need to talk to the parents. You're not a guardian. I can't talk to you. So she is a very strange person. She's got this strange wig on. She is just very awkward. She does not fit in. You can tell she's just very off. That's when she makes the comment about consumption. The parents have consumption, that's why they can't make it in. And he even notices. He makes the comment, "Oh, that's what does that mean? That sounds like an old Oregon Trail illness," which it is. That's where most of us heard that. So he says that he can come to the house and meet with the parents there, and she's against that. So he says, "All right, well, we'll figure this out. I'm gonna come by." But before that happens, she ends up showing up at his house, and he is there with his husband, it appears. And she asks for water. They reluctantly let her inside. Well, Wong doesn't want her in the house, but his husband, says, "Oh, she's thirsty. Let her in. She can come in." So when she comes in, she begins to do a spell and takes control of Wong, and she gets him to kill his husband. And then she uses another piece of witchcraft to have him go and eliminate the teacher, because she is getting too close to these things, and she wants to. They're going to skip town. She's going to take the kid and skip town, but she's going to eliminate the teacher first. So you see Wong end up running out of the house, and he is running for a long distance, very long distance. And he shows up to a gas station where she is getting gas. During this time, Josh Brolin sees her, and he wants to speak to her. So he had pulled off, and he is mid argument with her when Wong jumps these bushes and starts trying to kill her. Brolin starts trying to stop this, and he can quickly see that there's something wrong here. This man, he's covered in blood. His eyes are bulging out of his head. So there's a scuffle. She runs into a convenience store. He goes in and tries to assist. She's able to get away. She gets to her car and takes off, but he is still giving chase, to the point where Brolin ends up deciding something's wrong here. He needs to get involved and stay involved, I guess. And he jumps in his vehicle, and he follows also. And you see that Wong gets hit by a car and killed. His head is splattered. It's very graphic. It's disgusting. But so they continue to talk, and they start kind of sharing information about what they know. She said that she went to the house at some point and saw the parents inside. They were not responsive. He discussed how he started mapping where the children were leaving, and they see that everything kind of converges around the house where the remaining kid is living. So they go there, and they want to observe. They want to see if they see anything. They go there, and there's a cop car out front, so they're not sure what's going on. Hours later, the police officer who was taken inside earlier, who she had the relationship with, he comes out and waves them inside. So they go in because they're both desperate for information at this point, and things are just getting too out of hand. So they go in, and you can see the officers in there, and the crackhead is in there also, and there are some salt lines around, and they step over one, and the police officer and the crackhead start trying to kill them. So they're fighting them off in the basement. Upstairs, the kid is trying to get into the room where his aunt is. So there's also a salt line in front of that door, which he steps over, and then his parents are trying to get to him. The screaming and running around and the camera work here is great. It'll elevate you. It gets your blood pressure going. It's alarming. It's jarring. It's hard to watch. People are trying to get through obstacles to kill these people. And during the scuffle downstairs, Josh Brolin is pushed through a doorway, which leads down to the basement of the house, and he can see that those children are down there. And he is fighting with the crackhead. Julia Garner is fighting with the cop. He has picked her up by her neck and holding her against the wall. She's able to get his gun. She has to shoot him 2 times to kill him and get him off. So then she goes to look for Josh Brolin, sees him on the stairs, and she shoots the crackhead in the back of the head. Brolin immediately jumps up and runs downstairs to try and find his son. He's kind of looking at the kids and going. It's dark down there, so he's trying to find his son. And as he kind of turns, the witch is down there, and she is able to kind of ambush him. And next thing you know, he comes upstairs and he latches onto Julia Garner. He's choking her at this point. And the parents are still trying to get the kid upstairs. They since he stepped over the salt line, he has triggered them, and they're trying to end him. But as he runs from room to room, he's able to grab some items. He grabs some hair, and he grabs the bowl that the kids' name tags were in, and he grabs one of those little plant sticks. So the young man was paying attention. He had been watching her do these spells, so he starts wrapping the hair around the branch, and he knows to draw blood from himself and rub it on the little stick, and then he breaks it, which is how this spell is activated. And the hair he's wrapped around it was his aunt's. So those kids, she knows something has happened. She knows, but she can sense it as a witch. I'm sure that's immediate. She knew something was wrong. She takes off running. Those kids start bursting through the basement, and they come upstairs and they give chase to this woman. And they chase her through houses and through the neighborhood. Eventually, when Julia Garner is about to get choked out for good by Brolin, and when the kid's parents are about to get to him, these kids get to the witch, and they are able to tear her piece by piece and kill her. So killing her breaks the curse, I guess, breaks the spell. So the kids' parents, they stop. The next scene you see is Julia Garner running upstairs, and he's hugging them because they've calmed. They're still they've received long-term damage from being fed upon you. You hear the narration say later that they're being taken care of somewhere else now, and he's no longer having to feed them, which is something he was having to give them soup every day. The narration says that somebody else now feeds them soup in another state, and he's staying with another aunt that is much nicer. The kids also stop. They're no longer trying. They're no longer under this trance. They're just kind of standing still. They don't know what to do yet. Brolin catches up to the group because he is now free of the spell. And he's able to find his son, and it shows him carry him home while the other kids are just kind of standing out there. The narration says that eventually some of the kids, some of them, not all of them, learned to speak again. So there was some long-term damage by what this witch had done, trying to feed off of them to fuel herself to live longer. But the movie ended there. I was kind of waiting to see if Julia Garner maybe did have something to do with this, but she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. The movie was scary. It did a good job. It was scarier than a lot of the scary movies I've seen lately, probably for a good couple of years. It keeps you on edge. The camera work was really good. The special effects, the blood work were very good. It was very convincing. I enjoyed it. I expected it to be a little better. I thought it was a little bit of a letdown from what I saw in the previews, but not much. It was still very fun. It's definitely my favorite scary movie of the year, probably the last couple of years. So if I was to rate this movie, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. It was very good. I had fun watching it. I would recommend it. And it made me want to see more from this director here. Let's see, what was his name here? Zach Cregger. It looks like he did this. He made Barbarian, which was also good. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of his work. You can see here the IMDb rating is a 7.9. So it looks like it was very popular. This movie is going to make money. I think Julia Garner redeemed her year. She kind of took the stink of Fantastic Four off of herself. She did a great job in this movie. She's a good little actress. She's very convincing. We're gonna hear the rest of this trailer.
This is where the story really starts.
Yeah, that door opening and closing is creepy every time it happens. It always looks like it just kind of opens and closes itself, but when you get into the movie, you see later it's because the parents, just as zombies, are just opening it from the inside and immediately closing it. And yeah, they did a really good job building up the scares in this movie. So I thought it was fun. I would definitely recommend going to see this one if you're in the market for a scary movie. Best one I've seen in probably a good couple of years here. So we'll leave it right there. I'm going to probably put together another video today on something different. We're going to go a different direction in the next one. We'll see if you guys are interested. So thanks for watching. See you next time.